Have you heard that people don't come to virtual events anymore? Attendance rates are dropping. Don't bother. People don't come anymore. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of fear going around these days. I'm hearing from events people because they're like, people are signing up and they're not showing up. What on earth are we gonna do? Virtual events are broken. Have you ever heard that before, right? And it sounds like, to me, like whenever the emails, the people used to say, oh, email marketing is dead, this is dead, this is dead, this is dead. And you usually hear that from people who are trying to sell you something else, to be perfectly honest, right? Like, oh, emails are dead, you need to do this instead, right? And I've totally done that in my virtual event. I'm gonna be totally honest here. I'm like, hey, I used to spend hours and hours and hours writing emails and you just can't get their attention. And I spent hours, orchestrating this perfect little path to lead my person, my ideal client, to the sale, and they maybe opened 3 out of the bajillion emails that I created, and therefore they didn't get all the shifts that they needed in order to ultimately buy. So I'm always like, events are so much cooler than email, right? And it's to each his own, right? So I still use emails, by the way. So you just use both, obviously. So that was a little bit of a tangent. But in this video, if you don't know me, my name is Michelle B. And I help people turn their high ticket offer into $1 million event. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about why virtual events are not dead, and in fact, they are about to explode. They are exploding like crazy. People are making money like crazy. I am in a group of elite speakers, and we're using virtual events to create 6- and 7-figure days on demand all the time. And so many other people are catching fire, and there are events coming up left and right. So trust me, events are working. It's been a model that's been working forever, and it is still working. So the reason that people may not be showing up to your event, the reason that people might not be staying, the reason that your event might not be working is a number of things. But today we're going to talk about why aren't they showing up. And here's the thing, it kind of reminds me of a long time ago whenever they just had those janky ads on TV, or they just had those billboards that are like, we've got whatever, right? And it was just like so simplified marketing back in the day when there wasn't any competition. When there's no competition and you're the only one out there, then marketing's pretty easy. It's like, I'm a dentist, come to me, right? But whenever there's a ton of dentists on the block, then it would be a good idea if you've got your Google, you've got your Google reviews, and then you're the best dentist, right? So the more that things, the more that the market gets saturated, it doesn't mean that you can't do in a virtual event. It just means that you have to be a little bit more savvy about doing the virtual event. So here's the number one thing that I find the reason why people don't show up events is because the event owner, well, first of all, let me tell you a little thing. A lot of times we want to blame the audience. We want to blame the situation, the circumstance. Oh, COVID did this to me. COVID made me lose tons of money, or COVID made it so blah, 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 blah. And we try to change and blame the situation for our problem. Am I right? And so now people are saying, oh, the situation is changing. Nobody's showing up at events anymore. It's the people, it's the situation, it's this thing that's happening to us, which is complaining. Okay, it's complaining, and where does complaint leave you? To more complaints. So instead of complaining about the situation, let's say, hey, instead of complaining, how do we get here? We know that virtual events work. We know that Russell Brunson just made $16 million at his last event that he did that was live and virtual, okay, or more. We know that these events are working over and over again. So how can I stand up above the crowd? How can I be the best dentist on the block, stand up above the crowd, and get people to come to my event so that I can keep using this system to sell? So here's the number one reason why they're not coming. You're not giving them a reason to come. It's because you failed to build the desire in your product and in your event, and you failed to sell them on the amount of time. So even if it's a free event or a paid event, if you don't sell them on the amount of time that they're about to pay you to come to the event, they will not show up to the event, right? Because they're thinking, oh, I'm busy, oh this, oh that, I don't have time, right? So whenever they don't have time to show up to your event, it's because they never had the desire to come to your event. So if you want people to show up at your event, you got to actively sell them on why they need to spend that amount of time with you, because they're feeling a certain amount of pain that they're going to get out of, and they're going to get this amazing result and be like, right? And so if people aren't showing up to your event, if you've heard other people saying, hey, they're not showing up to other people's events, it's because we got to up our game and tell them, give them the desire to come to the event and sell them on the amount of time that they're gonna spend at the event and how it's gonna be totally worth it. We're gonna give them 10 times that value in the amount of time that we have. So I hope that helps. We'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.